Well, hello there. I know we've already talked about FNaF 4 a few different times on the channel, but...
You're obsessed.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
It seems like recently there's been a resurgence in people questioning the identity of the FNaF 4 protagonist. Well, I say recently. It's been going on for a while. A lot, and I mean a lot, of people enjoy making videos about new, out-of-the-box ideas, which is honestly fantastic. It's fun and it's great for the algorithm. However, sometimes it can make us forget the reasons the original ideas were so widely accepted. I love seeing these crazy out there new theories, but that doesn't mean I always believe them. That's why today I want to talk about a twofold, or fourfold, theory that I've believed for years now. Not only is Mike Afton the protagonist of FNaF 4 and every game leading up to it, but FNaF 1 and 4 occur over the same period of time. Evidence for this lies, well, everywhere, from the game mechanics to the ambiance, from the level design to the survival logbook. Mike's characterization, Mike's story, makes sense with this. Let's start off with the level design and ambiance, something that's incredibly linked between 1 and 4. The most damning of these being that the phone call from FNaF 1 plays in the background noise of FNaF 4. The only possible explanation for this would be that the person experiencing 4 has also heard these calls. Now, it could be Ralph, it could be some random security guard or some corporate higher-up, but I think we all know that the most logical answer to who would have heard that call and seen these nightmares is Mike. The idea that this would be a random Easter egg was debunked by Scott himself in the Halloween content update Steam post, where he said the following: "A lot of people think I filled the game with random Easter eggs this time. I didn't." And don't forget the hint Scott gave during the FNaF Theorists Unite GT livestream. 4 games, 1 story. The connections don't end there. If we look at the layout of the 2 rooms, they're incredibly similar. Each has a central light, a door on either side, one of these wire-caged fans, and the bedroom has a chest of drawers right here, where the drawers on the desk are in the office. That's a lot of similarities, especially considering how many of them don't apply to the offices in 2 and 3. So it's not like every office he's ever made follows the same look, meaning we can't blame a lack of creativity here. It already feels compelling, but I haven't finished listing the things they have in common. They also both have this line of separation partially up the wall, called a chair rail. The pattern on the FNaF 4 walls is reminiscent of the degradation present on the walls of the FNaF 1 location. And see these drawings? There's 6 of them. Guess how many pictures are hanging on the walls of the FNaF 4 bedroom? That's right, 6. You could argue that the Celebrate poster should count as a picture for this, but it's actually represented in the bedroom in another way. On this poster, we see 3 animatronics: Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica, while in the bedroom, we see 3 robotic toys strewn across the floor. Again, Scott felt the need to clarify that he didn't put a bunch of random Easter eggs in this game, which means that these choices have meaning. In addition to the level layout and design, these 2 games share a number of mechanics. Well, almost all their mechanics. On a broad scope, there are 3 choices you can make at any given time. You can close a door, doors that can't stay permanently closed in either game, shine a light, or check on Foxy. Speaking of Foxy, isn't it interesting how he's positioned behind a flimsy partition that opens to the sides, which he slowly peeks out of anytime you're not checking on him in both games? All of the other animatronics also match their FNaF 1 counterparts. Bonnie comes down the left hallway, and Chica approaches from the right. Freddy is at his most threatening in the dark, appearing behind you in FNaF 4 if you allow the area to stay dark for too long, or appearing at your door in FNaF 1 if your power goes out. In both games, we also have a strange odd man out animatronic: Golden Freddy in FNaF 1 and Nightmare Fredbear in FNaF 4. both of these seemingly stemming from the Fredbear Springlock suit that ended the crying child's life. This isn't the only instance of spending time at these locations with these spirits and having strange dreams because of it. In the game files of FNaF 2, the cutscenes are labeled dreams. This implies that our player character is having dreams about the animatronics after going home to sleep. In the movie, Mike Schmidt starts having dreams about the children possessing the animatronics while in the building. And the FNaF 4 animatronics are literally called nightmares. The most common contender for who would be having these dreams, aside from Mike, would be the crying child. But we can be near certain that it isn't him. You see, having dreams requires a functioning brain, and Dave's head kinda got... yeah. The only other person with a reason to have dreams like this would be Mike, whose guilt over what he did to his brother mixes with his daily experiences. Even if he wasn't already having nightmares, seeing the place and the characters again would have brought it all back. The complex emotions of the situation, the guilt, the grief, the pain, it forces Mike to experience the fear he imagines his little brother had, in addition to the regular processing of one's daily, or I suppose in his case nightly, experiences. We have more than just a good reason for Mike to dream this stuff up. There is direct evidence. In the survival logbook, we have what appears to be, depending on who you ask, either 2 or 3 people communicating. Either way, the red pen writing and drawings throughout this book are always attributed to Mike. And what do we see drawn in red pen on page 41 of this book? A perfect rendition of Nightmare Fredbear. And let's not overlook the fact that it's on page 41 either. You know, 4 and 1? Like FNaF 4 and 1? Of course, like every theory, it has its complications. There's the character encyclopedia, which by most standards is unreliable at best and doesn't even include Mike. There's also the strange presence of camera feeds in Sister Location, which display the room, the bed, and the plush trap hallway. Some will use didophobia in an attempt to explain this, citing nightmare gas experiments. But we have more than enough evidence to show that Mike, not Rory, experienced these nightmares. In fact, I'd say having cameras in one's house isn't too far-fetched of an idea. It's a service provided by many security companies. Although these are typically angled toward common areas or entryways, I could see someone who might be particularly paranoid or controlling about the whereabouts of their children making use of these to keep an eye on them. It would also be a show of that control, letting the child know that they're always being watched. Certainly sounds in character for William, doesn't it? The controlling, manipulative, abusive father making a power play to maintain control of his last surviving child? This is psychological torture, no nightmare gas required. Day after day of knowing that he could be watching, that he was watching, waiting for you to make a mistake? Maybe that's why we find Foxy in the closet. It's the only place there isn't a camera. Or maybe Mike's just a bisexual icon that hasn't come out yet. On the topic of William's abusive nature, we have the plush trap hallway. A game that feels to me, as someone who's dealt with abuse in the past, like an allegory for it. Trying to find the exact right thing to say or do, the sweet spot that results in less turmoil overall. Just like blindly trying to stop the plush on the X to skip part of the nightmares. I actually want to bring up another piece of movie evidence here. This hallway from the FNaF 2 movie trailer. You'll notice the 4 doors, 2 on either side, and at the far end of the hall, looking menacing as ever, is William Afton. Right where the plush trap begins in the game. There's even a window above his head, just like the high window in the plush trap hallway from FNaF 4. If your head is swimming by now, I don't blame you. It's a lot of information. There's just one more thing I want to bring up. If you recall, I made a video about what I believe is in the FNaF 4 box. I'll put a link to it in the iCard. In that video, we settled on the contents being the Foxy mask, because it's tied to Mike's worst memory. He locked it away to try to forget, but he can't. The skeletons in his closet, or rather, the Foxies in his closet, are just too much to run away from. So night after night he has these nightmares, and maybe they go away for a while, but returning as the security guard for these places brings all of those painful memories back up for him. Again. With that said, I want to say, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment, or I swear on all that is unholy, I will find you. And thank you to my channel members, Ballsfrog, Embrisk, Violet, Kepi, and Crashmaster. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a
Fazerific day!